go to a conference only if it has DIT written on it, because then you mark attendance. With all respect to my DIT colleagues, because we have to keep DIT also on the positive side. But that's on the lighter side. I'll be very quick. The good thing about many secretaries not landing up is that the session becomes shorter. So I'm sure that that's also the positive side. Friends, I just got PowerPoint fatigue or not. I thought just so that I don't wander around, I've got a couple of screens for you. And as these screens go along, I'll say something. I hope it makes sense. And if there's some kind of feedback at the end of it, I would be happy to react. Our vision, we try to put it together, is basically a connected TN. And the word connected TN is pretty deep. It means that government, private, whatever be the sources, we will have a connected TN, and that all of us will facilitate that. And then we've added on with citizen-centric services, and then we've added on through public-private partnership, which means that government is not the sole channel, and I think this is the system that's being followed in all states in the country, so there's nothing new about that, except that this kind of a phrase helped us to put our vision into focus. Now, 3 factors. Many an expert would use these 3 phrases. I thought I was the first one to discover it when I landed up in my first e-governance conference. And then I found 2-3 people using the same name. So I realized there's nothing beyond, you can't really discover very much. You can get into e-administration only if you manage these 3 things effectively. Technology, process, and people. And in Tamil Nadu, what we are trying to do is to manage them effectively, so that this will bear fruit today and in the days to come. So I'm giving you a couple of slides in terms of our management. The first thing is, we are trying to be integrated and inclusive. What do I mean? If you go to the Government of India, it's the Department of Information Technology. And the Department of Information Technology has a whole lot of schemes. If you jump over and land up in the Ministry of Home Affairs, they have their own IT schemes. Then you move into some other ministry, you will find that each ministry is doing its own thing. Now, we really had that kind of an option in Tamil Nadu to really look at what DIT was giving us and just to do our own thing and allow everybody else to exist. But we have now made an effort in the last maybe a year or so to get inclusive. It's easier said than done because we are all officers, each one of us have got a very independent way of looking at things, and we don't like people interfering in our business. So when you walk into some other department and tell them that you need IT or you need some help on IT, the normal reaction would be, so what? So we have to overcome that, and this is what we're doing. We've kind of said, we are here to help you, and we're using clever terms like facilitator. It's already bearing fruit. It's basically a marketing job. An IT secretary's job, which I'm sure my friends here will fully agree with me, is that in any state, today it's a marketing job. It's a marketing job because you want to get all the people onto your bandwagon without them realizing it, and that's it. It's a marketing job, and that's what we're doing. We are going out of our way to make sure that we accommodate all departments, get to them, tell them, see, this is what you need, and things like that. Okay. Re-engineering, this is a word that we all know. We use this phrase quite a bit. But this is really what is the biggest challenge right now. Because we have as-is being done, full mapping of services, processes being done. Remember that slide I told you about technology, processes, and people? Once you do the as-is, then getting on to the to-be, what can happen, has to happen with the consent of the individual department. So we have to go and tell them, listen, we have done something, you feel like it, take it up, make it sound very casual, and we are going through a process of re-engineering. We are only, let's say, maybe 20% through, we have a huge distance to go. But then re-engineering is a major work that we have to do because we can't just carry on with our methods when we make it IT-enabled. This is again a method that we are using, which I'm sure my colleagues are using. We walk into a secretary's room, then talk to him one-on-one first, and then tell him the best thing that can happen to your department if you can get the smart cookies in your department who are good on IT, put them together and make a team. And then we go around quietly finding out who is the best in that department, putting them together, and then making them land up before the secretary. There's a lot of work on this. Why am I saying all this? There's a lot of legwork that needs to be done if we want to get people on board. E-governance is not so simple. Organizing conferences are very easy, very simple, and papers are also very simple. But when you really want to get a department to move into an IT scene, it's actually tough. It's really, really tough. Some of the states have done very well because, right from top down, it's kind of, it's been a driving force and that's sustained itself. So now we have, in many departments, we have managed to create an E-team. And we don't want to call them E-team because one other thing about all our colleagues is they don't like this mission and SE, what is that? State E-mission team and mission team and all that, all fancy words that sound like they are from the James Bond movies, So our guys get a bit worried when the minute you say, you need an E-mission team for your department and they say, hey, listen, go easy. Don't want that IT stuff. So we say, whatever it is, put your team together, call it an E-team because of no better word for that. Change agents, basically change agents come with it. Then what we've had to do is, we've had to make those change agents feel like they are driving the change in their department. Again, many times they don't realize that we are driving the change, but this has to happen that way because only then things can happen. Then, I must say, Government of India initiatives in the last, I've been in this assignment for about 7-8 months now, 9 months. But Government of India initiatives in the last 1 year and a half, my colleagues I'm sure will also report this, has been excellent. It has been very, very focused on all directions, and we may not like the pace, we may not like the speed, we may not like the methodology, but the initiatives, whether it be the state data center, whether it be the wide area network, and all that's been rolled out, it's amazing. We are making the best use of it. Okay, we have done our SWAN, we had our own data center in place, and we couldn't get Government of India to fund that. So now Government of India is giving us a second data center, which we happily accepted, and it means more capacity for us. M-governance. Everyone's got a mobile. My son was talking to me the other day, and I somehow was preoccupied, and I was thinking of a whole lot of things. Then he did the next best thing. He sent me an SMS. So it beeped and I picked up the phone and I read it. So the message simply said, I've been talking to you for the last 10 minutes and you're not listening. So, that's the impact of the mobile. Mobile is extremely powerful and we are getting into M-governance. We thought, this sounds good, it's there in the net, everybody's talking about M-governance. But then when you got into M-governance, you suddenly discover you need a gateway. For all your services to be channelized, you need a gateway, which means you need an application. If somebody has to develop it, it's good enough. And all these things are coming. Now we're finished with that, we're finished with the gateway, and now we're working on the services to be rolled out through, through the mobiles. We got our minister to announce it, and she did, and well, we're on our way there. This is IT help desk. This is something which is a bit born out of necessity. We found that someone would ring up from, say, US or send a mail from the US and say, look, I want to start a firm in Tamil Nadu. I want to start a firm in Chennai. What do I do? So the best you can get past is about 4 lines, and then you realize you're not answering anything for them. So now we are setting in place an IT help desk where we are trying to bring in, you see, we had one of the schemes to incentivize IT buildings. So they gave a huge extra FSI in Tamil Nadu if you are building an IT building, which means it should not be used for non-IT purposes. So what happened is we now have about 10 lakh square feet of space with no IT firms inside them. All space which is there, and it's landed up like a big public policy problem for us because no IT person can get, non-IT person can get into it, and the non-IT people who have built buildings and who are using for commercial and other purposes, they say, look, we don't want these suckers because, we built this because for non-IT purposes. Now, the minute you de-recognize that, then there will be a big flow. The markets will crash as far as the rentals are concerned. So it's a public policy problem. We are trying to see how we can get around it. And, bureaucrats are very good. We will get around it. But the point is, we needed, we had to say, there is so much of IT space available. So to my friend in, say, Atlanta, who's mailing me, I need to tell him, hey, listen, there's a guy here who's got about 40,000 square feet space, all fitted, kitted, you can walk in. So this is actually, we're quite excited about it. And, incidentally, one of the good things about the downturn is the best companies are now coming forward to give us good applications and absolutely, good rates. I didn't use any other word. at very good, reasonable rates. So I must tell you, it's quite exciting. These guys just developed it within 2 weeks and came and gave me a piece to help me see what it was like, and I really liked it. So this is basically to give them, and not just government's point of view, but the private sector's point of view. So it will be like a portal where people will be able to come on, and the idea is to generate more people and give them means to come in. We've also set up training centers. One of the things in IT is you don't know which comes first. The chicken or egg kind of a thing. You don't know what should come first. Whether you should buy the bullock first, or you want to buy the cart first. So anyway, we set up training centers when there was no need for training. That was about 2 years ago. We had a whole lot of training centers, and we trained a whole lot of people on Linux. But then, now we've discovered those kind of trainings are actually a waste of money. But the training centers were not. So wherever the applications are being developed, there's a ready-made training center. It's from 25 laptops to 40 laptops in all districts, with an LCD, screens, boards, everything in all districts. So we are able to go to all departments and say, please use our facility free of charge. You see? But then we don't use it to teach them Linux or anything of that stuff. We are using it to teach only applications. Because we also found it's a waste of money to be teaching people, whatever, Windows or Linux or whatever. There's no point. The best thing is you develop the application on whatever software stack you want to. You take the application and tell him how to handle those 2 screens that he's supposed to handle. He's happy. There's one guy who will get the big picture, who's anyway IT savvy, but the rest of them don't need the rest of the stuff that you want to teach them. So we have some champions here from the health sector, from our department, Dr. Amarnath here, and Ms. Kala's from TCS. Amarnath is a doc, and I'm very happy that we are going to get an award today. There's one of the awards that they're going to get. They've done very well. You see, we are one of the first states, I think. We can boldly say it, if you don't mind. Anytime we say we are the first when the rest are not around, just so that there's no debate on that. But, we started IT applications for 270 secondary care hospitals. I'm very passionate about this because I was right there when this whole thing began. So we've been through many an argument and many a discussion, fighting with the system. But 270 hospitals, and the best thing is, the man who was using a book and a register, the same man is now entering it in. No data entry operators, no third party sitting in there in this hospital. It's all being done by doctors, nurses, hospital workers, pharmacists, lab technicians. It's an amazing application. Now you have done it in how many hospitals? Okay, they've completed it in 31 and we're rolling it out. By December you will have it in 270. It's an amazing application, web-based application. The patient walks in, gets his OP ticket out of the OP counter. He just takes the same time that you would take in writing it. And the best thing is, the man who's giving him the OP ticket is the same 8th standard pass man who was earlier doing it, scribbling on a token number. Then he goes to the doc just checks him out completely. He's got only 3 things to do. He's got the diagnosis, he's got the lab test, he's got the prescription. So when it comes to the diagnosis, he just types 2 letters and the whole thing pops out. He presses enter and it goes on. He goes to prescription. He's got his own favorites. In every district, you will have only certain types of diseases. 9 out of 10 patients in a secondary care hospital will have only particular types of diseases. So he's got his, for if it's diarrhea, he knows what the prescription should be. So just those favorites pop out, and he can even adjust the tabs. He can adjust the tabs. Say 3 days, if he doesn't want to give this man 3 days, he can give it for 5 days or 2 days or whatever. And then he jumps into the lab, similar. What tests to do for this, the whole thing is done. It's all over in about 30-40 seconds. I got clips of that, but then, let me not waste your time. Then he goes to the pharmacy. Pharmacy, no entries. Just the PIN number, which is on the last 5 numbers, he enters in the system, and the prescription pops out. They give the pills, they press enter, and it's over. There's absolutely no typing stuff. I think it's been a brilliant piece of work that the software developers have done for us. TCS has done the job. And then lab similarly. I won't go into all the details, blood bank, operation data, everything. And then we also have a HMI. Okay, the whole thing is being reported. So now the best thing in this is we discovered all of them don't need complex training. The name of capacity building. They don't need it. All they need is that 3 screens or 2 screens that they are handling, and they're very happy. How to boot the computer, how to shut it down, and that's it. And then there's a lot of mutual teaching that goes on. So new doctors will join, each one of them is being taught by the other, and we're quite excited about this because the same thing is being developed for the primary health centers, and shortly the same thing is going to be upgraded for the tertiary care centers. Okay, another thing we found in government is, one of the nice things about government is we do lots of things, and each of us, as we vacate our seats, that gets vacated also. And then we move on and somebody else comes and he builds up and he tells the world that he's done it, but 5 weeks after he's left, the whole thing is given up. So we found this a major problem in IT because we found there were legacy applications which had nothing, no record, or small applications here and there developed by different people. So now we have got into this job, one of making a repository. It's almost like a record of all the IT applications with documentation of the software stack. We've just got it started. We're also insisting, one of the problems that we are now having is that there are many IAS officers joining the service who can even do programming. So he sits down and says, hey, I can do programming. So before you know it, that application is not okay, I can do it, I'm better at this. So now we are having those kind of problems. So we say, okay, let's streamline this, let's get a software development cycle. This is what, if you want to develop a software, you have to go by these, step by step. You go by an SRS to do this and that. So we're on to that. 2 tier cities. This is something I'm very excited about as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. We started off with Chennai. Now it's spread into Coimbatore. Cognizant opened a 6,000-seater facility last Sunday. I was there. And what we did was, from the government side, we got land together from 25 to 150 to 200 acres, and we have started developing IT parks. Some of the other states are also doing it. The nice thing is that there's a huge amount of interest now of people not wanting to work in Chennai, preferring to work in Tirunelveli, or in Madurai, or in Salem, or in Trichy, or in Hosur, where all these parks are coming up. So people wanting to set up centers. So that's an exciting thing. And so our 2 tier cities effectively covering the entire state. Challenges are you and me. Thank you. I'm done.